I'm live. I would hope so. Good evening, everybody. What's going on? Let's see who we got floating around in the chat here. We've got the Train Freak, Inked Rails, Jerry Satz, Joe Raider from the Black Rock Central, Caboose 121, Wimble Train. So welcome aboard, folks. Anthony Dodge. Actually, I should do this the right way. Opa Dodge. Hey, Shane. Welcome aboard, folks. I did hit live. The thing of it is I can't hear anything yet because I haven't pulled it up on YouTube. So I don't know if this is working or not. So we'll see. Let's see. Don't look at that. There it is. Ta-da! Let's see. Don't look at that. There it is. Ta-da! All right. Now, let's go ahead and break this guy out and put him over here. Maybe. Come on. You can do it. The computer's been slow. It did an update the other day, of course. All right, let's see. Who else we got? Let's see here. We got IB Tony 247, Marky Saunders, John number 2 from the Schuylkill River Valley, Steve Childers, M&M Shortline, and Dwight Curley. Dwight, well, wait a minute. Was it Dwight? I'm sorry. Yeah. I think I need to go back and take a look at something here. Hold on a second. Yep, it was Dwight. All right. Yeah, I haven't gotten that out yet. Yeah, I know what the Train Freak's working on. He's putting DCC into a locomotive, so it's in holiday mode, right? Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. Barn full of trains. Welcome aboard. Let's see who else has popped in. I haven't seen anybody else yet. But this is pretty good. I've got 17 people in here. Woohoo! Don't I feel special? Well, I know I'm special, but that's beside the point. Anyway, let's see. Oh, go via or go home. What's going on, man? I believe that's Chris. One of these days, I'm actually going to set something up so I can understand who's who because, just because of the fact that I don't know. Some of the channel names don't obviously match. Hey, David, welcome aboard. I think I saw Almar. Yep, I see Almar is here. Manny Fernandez, welcome aboard. So let's see. How's everybody doing? Still hungover from Christmas, I'm guessing? Oh, man. I'm just glad I'm off for the next couple of days. Ken Amos, welcome in. I can guarantee you all one thing, and that is the fact that this will not go 3.5 hours. I can guarantee you that. Ugh. Let's see. Who else? Hey, Lehigh River Subdivision. Ian is in. I don't think I've missed. I hope I haven't missed anybody. If I have, I apologize. All right. Let's see. Nice, Shane. No, I'm not doing that either, Steve. I'm not going 5 hours either. Yeah, can't wait for 2021. I tell you, well, I'm not sure. Here it is. The 20s are now, or here it is. The 2000s are now going to be 21, and they're going to be allowed to drink. Can we really handle that after this year? Oh boy. No, Chris. I really don't think there's going to be any tree puns tonight. I think we used up just about every one of them last week. Oh, jeez. Anfield Road in the Loft. What's going on, Mr. Lee? Ugly tree appearance. Anyway. So, let's see. We've got 24 folks in here. That's nice. Corey's AKVR. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. So, I kind of alluded to the fact, I guess first thing, well, no, we'll just go with it. What the hey. Speaking of voice, where's Rick? Oh, jeez. Not only that, but I see 2 of the 5 of the sidetrack. Well, I guess if you want to count me, that's 3 of the 5 sidetrack Sunday crew are in here. Rick and Heath are slacking. Oh man. So Wimble Train is here. I think I said hello. If I didn't, hey. Let's see. Well, if you all, and I'm not sure how many, I know that there are quite a few of you in here that follow the railroad on Facebook. And I also may have made mention earlier today. I tell you what, it's been a heck of a day. I actually, I had some things I had to take care of. My daughter's sink broke in her bathroom, so I had to work on it. Hey, John, 2618, welcome in. So we had to go get some parts for that. And I worked on getting that taken care of. So it's been a long day. Not to mention the fact that I had to put my truck in the shop. Well, I dropped it off. They'll work on it tomorrow. Yeah, John number 26. But anyway, I know I put out 2 videos today. Hey, Melvin Fackler's in. And Container Man 68. So anyway, put out 2 videos earlier today. One was a vlog. That is the last vlog for this year. We ended up being vlog number 48. So out of 52 weeks in the year, I did 48 vlogs. So I was 4 short if you did them 1 a week, which is fine because I really didn't want to do that many to start off with. 5 flights today, still cleaning up the airplane. Whoosh. Wow. Yeah, you were busy too. Hey, make sure that thing's nice and clean for me there, John. I need to get out of here. So anyway, I'm not sure if it was mentioned in vlog 48 or if it was mentioned in the announcement video that I put up this afternoon. Whatever it is or whenever it was, I did start a Patreon page. If you go back and look at vlog 48 or the announcement video for tonight, that's in there. I know I've already picked up a couple of folks. Thank you very much for joining in and helping me out. I do appreciate that. I say helping me. It's not helping me. It's helping you and helping the channel. So I appreciate that. Hey, thanks, John number 2. Yeah, there you go, John. You did that, John 26. That would be cool. That would be cool. Anyway, so I've got a Patreon page now, and like I said, I picked up 2 Patreons or 2 patrons. I appreciate that. Hey, Steve 87 PSAP. welcome in. So, if you want to help me out that way, you can. I've also still got the Teespring store, and I've also got the PayPal.me. So any way you want to do it, that's fine. Just remember that whatever goes on with any of those, 95% of it's going back to the channel. The other 5% comes to me for incidentals, but everything else goes back to the channel for giveaways, for upgrading the tech, to which I've got something that's going to be coming this week, I hope, that'll help out with the tech side of things. I'm not going to go into that. You'll see that on a future video, or maybe even a future Sidetrack Sunday. Speaking of Sidetrack Sunday, just so that everybody is aware, we did open up with a fifth member on the 20th. We brought in Rick Bailey from the Fulch Valley Railroad, or as everybody wants to call him, Rick the Tree. He's a leaf of a different color. Anyway, I wasn't going to do that, but I did it anyway. Hey, My Life's Trains. Welcome in. Or My Life's Tracks, I'm sorry. So anyway, we picked up Rick as the unofficial fifth member. And he will actually have a Sidetrack Sunday show in January because we have 5 Sundays in January. So he will have the last one, just so that everybody's up to speed on that. So, well, I guess what I can do here, because of the fact that I do have some stuff sitting behind me. Oh, speaking of barking up the wrong tree, there we go. There's Mr. Bailey. See, his ears were burning. That's what it was. Or maybe it was his leaves were burning. I'm not sure. Barn full of trains is in. I think I said hi to you. If I didn't, sorry. Hello? I was barking up the right tree. Okay, cool. Anyway, like a forest fire. And here it is. I said we wouldn't have any more tree jokes. Well, no such luck. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to get into a couple of the things that that came across for Christmas. First one's not so much a train thing here, but my wife and my daughter know me a little too well. You can take the sailor out of the sea, but you can't take the sea out of the sailor. So that was a gift from the two of them. And I think that's extremely true. Let's see, what have we got going on in here? Something was burning, but he got a shot, so it was so it stopped. I don't want to know. I okay, whatever. Jeez. You know, My Life's Tracks, that's something I have in the palm of my hand. But boom. Anyway. Martin, welcome aboard, sir. Need to branch out on it. Yeah, okay. You know what? I keep forgetting I can do these things. And of course, the nice thing with YouTube is the fact that it's like got a 45-second to a minute delay. Jeez. Rick, you're starting the game one heck of a following there, buddy. You know what, Steve? I was supposed to be going on a cruise in January, and it basically got canceled. We were supposed to be going to Hawaii, and we said nope. So the nice thing is everything. We got refunded everything, so we're in good shape there. So I see Rick Belly, the Wood Santa Claus made it home from the North Pole. I was kind of hoping maybe one of the guys from the Crossed Anchors would have been in here tonight, but I haven't seen them yet. But that's okay, because I think there might be some other folks that are into after Rick's brilliant, oh my gosh, I have to put that one up. Now it's the opposite. Now YouTube's ahead of StreamYard as far as the comments go. Oh, the Alaska cruise is nice, Steve. That's nice. I'm sure if you go back and look at my vlogs from 2019, we actually did the Alaska cruise through Norwegian. That was awesome. Yeah, Corey. Sorry, it's I guess that could be for either trains or for ships. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I hear you, Anthony. I mean, it stinks. I hear you. This is the one I was looking for from Wimble Train. There we go. After Rick's brilliant performance being an Xmas tree there will be no end to the tree jokes. And sorry, folks, I'm sure most of you know that I had to have some dental surgery done, so I'm still having, even though it's, I'm having some issues talking every once in a while. Hey, Vinny's on board, and so is Dwayne from Dwayne's Fork and Spoon. Welcome aboard. That's all right, Vinny. You haven't missed a whole lot yet. A couple of tree jokes. And one thing I showed off one of my gifts, but one of the things that got me, that really surprised me, actually, my sister-in-law and her husband and their kids they do a lot of traveling for their oldest son's baseball, and they happened to find this shop somewhere, and they found these. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this, hopefully. Let's just do it this way. There we go. So they found these magazines. This one here happens to be from April 1956. Obviously, you can see it's a trains magazine, but what's really nice here is they talk about the Chesapeake and Ohio with its hopper cars. So I haven't actually had a chance to read the article yet, but wait a minute, what did I miss? I missed something somewhere along the way here. Oh, brother. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Here we go, getting sidetracked. So anyway, like the title says, it's tipple the tidewater. So I really want to read through this article and see what it talks about. Consider the fact that the Chesapeake and Ohio is one of the railroads that I wouldn't say emulate, but I have some of their equipment on the railroad. Hey, Crooked River and Eastern, Mr. Dave. Welcome in. So they got me that one, and then they found this one here is actually on the Hiawatha from the Milwaukee. So, like I said, this is another one of those neat things. I want to go in here and read a little bit more about this one, too. This happens to be from December 1950. And who remembers when magazines were 50 cents? Or actually, I'm sorry, this one here was 35 cents. Can't touch a magazine these days for 35 cents. But along with that, oh, nice. Yeah, I was trying to run some trains earlier, and that didn't go too well. This last thing, was copyrighted in 1970. And I believe that this is just a flyer for... Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not. What the heck? Oh, yeah, it is. I see. This is a flyer for Lionel. So this is from 1970, and it was $1. Of course, I don't know what they paid for it, and that really doesn't matter to me, but I haven't even looked into this yet to see what exactly is all on here. That's what I was saying before. I'm not sure if we've got any O-scalers that are watching. I hadn't seen the Crossed Anchors crew jump in here, but, you know, this is the inside. They had some neat stuff back in the day. I remember that much. Oh, man. There we go. So, like I said, just some stuff. Eventually, probably what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get a, this was in a plastic sleeve. But even for the other two, I'm going to probably end up doing the same thing as getting like a comic book type sleeve to put them in, so that they don't get messed up. And then this here, I may end up just getting it framed and stick it on the wall with some of the other memorabilia. If you look behind me, I've actually got some stuff sitting up on the walls. I probably went ahead and did some decorating down here, other than the railroad. So let's put that off to the side. Let's see, who else have we got in here? Mystic Southern just jumped in. Welcome aboard. I'm hoping I haven't missed anybody while I've been sitting here. Oh, hey, Santa Fe. There's Santa Fe Bob. I was hoping that I hadn't missed anybody while I was just sitting here talking to myself. Dave P., welcome in. Let's see who else we've got here. So I'm going to stop for a few minutes and we'll get caught up on who all is in the chat. Or who all showed up in the chat since I've been sitting here running off at the mouth. Hey, Vinny, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to watch that whole thing with you and Sparky the other night. I'll have to go back and watch the replays. That was really cool. Hey, speaking of Sparky, guess who just hopped in? Welcome aboard the crazy train. It's only 1/5 crazy tonight, though. I'm by myself. But it's still crazier as it ever can be. Let's see, who else is... And that would be it at the moment. Yeah, like I said, sorry I couldn't stick around for that whole thing the other night, but it had been a long day. I've had a couple of really long days. I'm just glad I'm on vacation this week. Yeah, I know you're hiding in the background. I know, Jason. No, he's not putting lick and stick decals on. All right. Well, I got a box. It's a fairly large box. And no, this is not the one This is not the one that I'm waiting for that came from Mr. Rick Bailey. We have no idea where that's at, and I have no idea where it's going to. Yes, look and stick the coders. There you go, Caboose. There we go. Look and stick the coders. That'll work. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I earlier in December, I decided to order in. Well, I didn't decide. What happened is the GE 44 tonner that I had working the Wykert industrial area stopped working. I've heard of lick and stick inspection shops. Anyway, so I had a GE 44 tonner. It's a Bachmann Spectrum. It's been having issues for a few years now, and I basically gave up on it for the time being. I could probably get it fixed. I could probably fix it myself. I just haven't felt like fooling with it. So what I did instead is I started looking for a replacement for said locomotive. And after some searching and a couple of bids and being outbid, or basically being told to go pound sand, I finally found this guy. Now, this came from a eBay seller by the name of Trainz with a Z, Trainz. And what's really nice is they've got a whole bunch of stuff in here. And yes, wouldn't you know it? What do they send in the package? They send you a $10 coupon. And what's on the front? I can't get away from them. I'm telling you. And no, this isn't the blackjack. This one's $48.88. But still, there's a GG1 on the $10 off coupon. So they also have a website too. I didn't even notice this before, guys. I could have given this to John for him to find, but we'll get it linked in the description once it's done. But it's pretty easy to find. It's trains.com. Yeah, this is true. Oh, that's the invoice. In actuality, Anthony, this wasn't too bad. I was really surprised. I mean, I knew what I wanted to pay, and this was pretty much on par. So anyway, as you can see, it's an SW9 1200. This is a Proto 2000, and this is the original Lifelike. This is not the Walthers. This is actually a Lifelike. The one that I really wanted, obviously would have been a Baltimore in Ohio or a Chesapeake in Ohio or something of that nature. But when I saw this, I was like, you know what? This is a railroad that I've always liked their paint scheme, and this will fit right in. So I'm not sure how well it's going to show up. I can get it out of the box here, which is what we're going to do anyways, because I'd like to see the thing run. As you can tell, I did open the box, but that was only because of the fact that it came Christmas Eve. And for anybody that's on the Mid-Atlantic, they know that we got hit with one heck of a rainstorm about, I don't know, I guess it started somewhere around 5 o'clock and it lasted until 6. This came to the door apparently from FedEx at 5:35. And I'm like, man, I hope they stuck it up by the house. They did. It was actually up underneath the awning, or up underneath the eaves, so it was out of the weather, but still, whew, man, that was a nasty little storm that blew through. I think I saw somebody say, "Hey, Crazy Joe's in the house." So, like I said, I have not seen this thing run yet. So, what it is this here happens to be, after I get past all the paperwork and everything else, and then I can figure out how this is supposed to come out of here. They never did make these easy to pop out, that's for sure. That is for sure. And of course, my meat hooks are so stinking big that I can't get them in there to push this thing out. Okay. Let's try something a little different. There we go. Maybe I can. Hey, I can grab it now. There we go. There we go. Yeah, the thing of it is I think I don't think this was in there correctly. I think it was actually in there backwards. I'm not sure. But anyway, so there we go. Oop. You know, I've still got Lick and Stick decoders sitting up there. Sorry. That's been sitting there the whole time. My mic moved. Let's see here. Can we get the darn thing to come in? There we go. Oh, it was. Focus. Take it easy, Container Man. So anyway, it's a Great Northern. And like I said, I've always liked the Great Northern paint scheme. And this one here, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that'll work. And I've actually got another SW sitting over on the layout. That's the one that was it's the one for the Canton Railroad, which happens to be a local railroad to here. So, and there is the mechanism, which looks eerily familiar to Athearn. But that was the neat thing with the protos, as far as I was concerned, is the fact that they really came up with a nice mechanism for running. So, looks like I've got windows that I have to be. The heck, they gave me all sorts of little detail parts here too. What the heck are these for? I don't see any missing windows. I guess I'll have to read the instructions. Oh my. I don't read instructions. But yeah, I mean, there's. I was just looking at some of the details on here. I mean, there's little grab irons and everything else on the side. So this is a nice looking. You know, Shane, I know that that Lifelike did have an issue with the gearing at one point. I know I had that issue with both of my BL2s. I don't know if this one here has had the gears replaced yet or not, but I know I can probably get a hold of them. So, hey Heath, welcome aboard in Grandpa Rails. So, I think what we're actually going to do, because believe it or not, I actually do have. Let me do this. No, not that. No, not. Well, I could do it that way. There we go. Let's see. Tyler. All right. So we've actually got camera number 2 up on the screen. But I think what I'm going to do first, you know what? Let me change this again. Let's do it this way for a minute. Actually, let's just do it this way. And I will be right back. Because I want to... There we go. There we go. And if this thing is anything like the BL2s or even the other SW9 that I've got, I know that the coupler boxes have to come off before you can put the shell on. This ought to be fun. Yeah, it was quite fascinating. I was telling Rick earlier, he had sent a package before Christmas, and I was like, oh, yeah, you should get it before Christmas. Well, at this point, I think I might see it before my birthday. Let's see. Well, that went together a lot easier than what I thought it was going to. Let's see who else has been. Let's see who else is floating around. Yeah, well, this year was actually supposed to get here on the 14th, and it showed up Christmas Eve. So, and this came FedEx. So, you know what? It's just one of those things. I understand it's the holiday season, number one, and of course, with the way that this year was, it just sucks. One of my railings was out of whack. All right. So we now have it on the shell. Written off. My Christmas present is lost by the USPS. Yeah, I'm hoping whatever Rick sent me hasn't been lost by them. That's my fear. Yeah, I was talking to somebody else, and they were saying that they had actually ordered something for their son, and it was actually in the same state, and it went to Georgia and came back. And it was like, really? It's like, wow. So, but what's really fascinating is the fact that my package, this one here, was actually on one side of Baltimore County for a week. And then it went over to the other side of Baltimore County and went out for delivery in the same day. So that made no sense. I mean, they're like 25, 30 minutes apart, and it took them a week to get it from one side of the county to the other. And then they delivered it to my house in one day. Whatever. I still don't understand that one. But whatever. Whatever. Oh, let's see. What else have we got going on here? Hey. Cool. So, I think the other night, before I go, I'm going to take this over to the layout here for a minute, in a minute, but all right, take it easy, Jason. One of the questions, and I think it was on Heath's channel. I'm going to steal something from Humanity Junction from Heath here for a minute, and just from my standpoint, what's been going on in 2020 and what does 2021 look like? Well, 2021 looks like a 2-0 and a 2-1, which unlike this year had a 2-0 and 2-0. And not only that, but on January 1st, you know what we can say that 2020 is in hindsight. Sorry. All the time, Heath, all the time. Anyway, what I've got, what all went on this year? Well, for this thing, if everybody who's followed it from August of last year till now knows the progress that had been made. This time last year, I was really close to starting to run trains, or at least being able to run locomotives. Who didn't tree that one coming? Oh boy, here we go. Rick? Sheesh. I'll leave that one alone. Anyway, so a lot's happened on the railroad this year. There's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs. I mean, there's been a lot of changes. From the fact of just running a couple of locomotives around the layout to actually being able to run a full schedule, a 24-hour schedule across the railroad. Getting the DC wiring done. The AC wiring is there. It's still not hooked up to the panel because the pandemic, the showstopper threw a monkey wrench into that. It just there's been a lot of changes. And if you saw, Vlog 48, there are still things that are being corrected. Midsummer Railway N Scale, welcome in. You know what? So, there's still quite a ways to go. I still have to get the AC work done. I've still got some issues that I'm working through. One of them is still the turntable. The electrical side of the turntable is working fine. It's the mechanical side of the turntable that's still having issues, which is the reason why that extra leg was thrown in the other night, and the shim underneath the bucket that holds the pit to try and help that issue out. So what's coming up for 2021? Well, what's coming for 2021? There is going to be some changes. Not so much to the railroad. There's going to be some changes to how things are done for the channel. There's going to be probably some things that I'm going to update or upgrade for doing a few other things. The track work is hopefully going to become a little bit more permanent this year. And hopefully I can start working on some scenery. That's my goal. I'd like to start getting some of the scenery elements, getting rid of these white foam blocks that are floating around and actually get them carved down into what look more like hills instead of these big white foam blocks sitting all over the place. I want to get the city level built over at Boeville. I want to get that up and running. I've started looking into the parts for that. So those are the things that I'd like to get done. I want to finish putting, or I want to put the turntable back together once I get it working properly. Because the bridge pieces, the railings are all off of it. The overhead piece that holds for the wiring is out. I got to put all that back together. I want to put together the diesel servicing facility that's over at Boeville. I want to get that put together. I want to finish, or actually I shouldn't say finish, but well, I guess it is finished. The drawer system that I put together for the hidden yards, that is working a heck of a lot better. So, yeah, I tell you what, Chris, the turntables are nice, but man, they are a pain in the butt. The one I have from Walters is a complete pain in the rear end, and I know if Jason were here, he'd tell you that he has mine's a 90-footer. I think Jason's got the 130. They're both from Walters. His is supposed to be DCC ready or DCC compatible. The problem is it's got a dead spot. So every time it passes this one spot, everything shuts. It shuts the locomotives off. And then once you pass it, it puts power back to the locomotives again. So there you go, Joe. That's the way to do it. Hey, welcome aboard, Joey. The Walters turntables are nice. If you go back and look, I put an upgrade into mine. They had that wonderful wiper system, and it kept losing contact, or it kept shorting out. So what I ended up doing, when I was talking to Grandpa Rails earlier this year, before we started building the bridges, I told him my idea, and he's like, well, shoot, they do that for alternators and stuff. You should be able to find something. So I actually found small sealed bearings that I used. So, now I don't have an issue with mine losing electrical connectivity anymore. But Jason's, it's literally set up with a dead spot in it. Yeah, Ken, I think he's going to look into that once he gets it's when it changes polarity. Exactly, Eminem. That's part of the issue. And I think that is something that Jason's going to be looking into, is probably putting a keep alive on it. But, it just stinks that it does that, but it has to. For the DC system, or since I'm still running DC, I've got an old Atlas Twin that I use for doing that. And I just realized when I sit back in the chair that I'm kind of off screen, or I get blindfolded. You can't see me. Oh, brother. Yeah, like I said, Chris, it definitely drops power. Him and I actually talked about that one night. So, we're still looking into it. Yeah, I'm sure that the transfer tables are just as much fun, Martin. I tell you what, that was one of the things that I used to like watching, was with the Lionel guys with their transfer tables. Those things are cool. Those things are cool. I got 35 people watching and 27 likes. I like it. Martin, don't say that. I've got one with the expansion. Oh, you're talking about the transfer tables. I got you. Yeah, and that's what it is. I think when you look at the Walters turntable, it actually tells you that's what it's for, which is odd because I know we've talked about this off and on. I always see AC as a non-polarity. I mean, AC is alternating current; it's constantly changing. Where DC is positive on one side and negative on the other, and that's it, unless you flip a switch and flip the sides. But apparently that's not the case. Apparently even DCC has a polarity problem. So little did I know, there's no getting away from the polarity issues. CP, hey, welcome aboard, CP 368. The turntables are nice. You just have to know what the nuances are, and know that there's going to be some things that you're probably going to have to mess with. And yeah, Chris, it's something that Jason had brought up to me, or that a couple other folks had mentioned with mine, that there is an auto reverser that you can use for the turntables that it senses when it's supposed to switch. But I'm not sure if that would actually help in Jason's case or not. It probably would on mine, but like I said, mine, it's like I know that where I call it the outhouse, where the outhouse sits in normal operation for my railroad, the outhouse is at the back of the locomotive. If a locomotive is facing in the opposite direction, in other words, the cab is close to that outhouse, then I have to flip the polarity because it's not going to match. The bridge doesn't match the track, or the bridge doesn't match the rest of the railroad. So it's going to be, the polarity has to be flipped. Yeah, polarity is a plus or minus thing. Yep, and DCC is all ones and zeros. Yeah, Heath. Everybody says that, but it seems like there's a lot more. There's a lot more to the DCC than meets the eye. If you've got a big enough railroad, you have to have the boosters, and then you've got to have all the connecting points on the outside. Unless, of course, you do wireless. There's just so many different things there, but. Yeah, that's what it looks like, Sparky. It looks like an outhouse. Then that's what the build guys are going to do next. 1 week is going to be one wall, the next week will be another wall, the next week will be the wall with the door. Yeah, Lackawanna Rail fan. I know. DCC is the way to do things, and I tell you, I hear you. And eventually I'll get there. It's just not in the budget. It's just not in the cards right now. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. There you go, Martin. Rick Paleador? That's too complicated. Oh boy. My Life's Tracks, I've heard a bunch of people doing that. In fact, I think at some point mine may end up being that way because of the fact that I have a lot of older, well, if you follow that, which I know everybody in here does, but if you actually saw a lot of the rolling stock and a lot of the locomotives I have, some of those just aren't going to be able to be converted to DCC. They're just not going to, there's just no way to do it. The old AHMs and things of that nature just don't, there isn't enough pickups. So eventually, yeah, I'll probably end up doing something like that where it'll be both. But, eventually, maybe I will do like I said, right now it's just not in the cards. It's just not in the budget. Don't need a door, just leave that wall off. Oh boy. Yeah, I hear you, my legs tracks. I mean, I now have 72, of which I think 80% of them are running. So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, some of this stuff I can convert, others I can't. They're just not worth it. So, what do you all say, since we're talking locomotives and hey man, there's something from Santa Fe Bob. Would a frog juicer work like on a turnout? I'm DC, but I heard model railroader use them for switching polarity. I have no idea. I mean, theoretically, the frog juicers, you know, I would think that they would be able to, because what you're doing is when you switch it, you're telling it, okay, these two rails. Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm over on these two rails. So I'm on the diverging route. So I would think that they would work. So I don't know. I mean, that's possible. That's possible. So anyway, what do you all say? We go ahead and we bring up, not that way, that way. Yeah, we can do this. I'll just have to go over there and change the camera. That's all. No. We'll just have to move the camera. Take off the old blue switcher. Almost. There we go. Yeah, it's a smooth running locomotive. Wow. Holy cow. That's nice. Sweet. Well, I get a bit of a bonus. North Down passenger train. Ugh. All right. Let's do it this way. Actually, we'll leave it that way. Oh, here comes the southbound. There's the southbound passenger train. All right, let's see. What else have we got going on here? It looks like we're still talking about frog juicers. I've got I have a question for the folks in the chat here, real quick. For the switch machines, and I know that there's a couple different brands out there. I know that there's been, I mean, obviously Tortoise has been the mainstay for years and years. I know that there's other manufacturers out there, and I was wondering what you all are using for your switch machines. What are you using tortoises? Are you using snails? Are you using Blue Point? Are you using manual? Or are you using electric? Because I've got some switches that I want to. That I actually, well, we've talked about this before. Over in the Boeville area, the curve turnout specifically. They need to have their own under the table switch machines. Yeah, I know some folks are doing manual. I get that. But the thing that I'm running into, Grandpa, especially over in the Boeville passenger station, or what will be the Boeville passenger station, those I want to be electrified. Let me see if I think I may have touched on this a couple of times in the past. I want the switches that are on the main line, such as that crossover that's in the upper right hand corner. I want them to be electrical. I want them to be remotely triggered because they're on the main. So they're going to be covered. They're going to be handled by the dispatchers or the dispatcher. So those machines need to be electrical. The ones that are in the yards and the Weikert industrial area, on the other hand, will probably be ground throw, Caboose Hobbies, somebody. But I'm not sure. I wasn't sure what to do with the under the layout switch machines, because obviously that's the way I want to go. I eventually want to do under the layout switch machines. So right now, everything those that are up there, those are old, I think AHM switch machines. They work fine, but they don't look realistic sitting on top of the layout. You can use RC servos to control switches for, I've heard about that. I'm just not sure how that works. If anybody has, Ken, if you know of some place, or if you can point me in a direction for that would be nice. There you go. Yeah, that's the other thing, Bob, is the fact that I'd like to eventually, at some point, I would like to have the railroad signaled. That would be kind of nice. I would love to have signals on the railroad, but that's a way down the road. I can tell you that right now. Shane's Trains. I don't know about a guide to the blue boxes. I'm not sure. I've got a bunch of them. I can tell you that much. I've got a whole boatload of Athearn blue box locomotives back there. I'd appreciate that, Ken. I appreciate that. like I said, it's just one of those things. It's like I said. I mean, for the yards, the manual throws is definitely the neat way. Definitely the way to go because it's going to take the yard crews more time to actually move things around. So if they're having to go in there and switch switches, so that's the reason why I want those to definitely be manual throws. Did I lose somebody? Sorry, I thought I had a train off the track. I might have a train off the track. Arduino is Greek to me. Yeah. Has anybody seen... I just got an Joey just won an eBay auction. Way to go, Joey! Why are we talking about armadillos? Okay, I think I must have missed something there. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, John, number 2. That's the other part of this whole thing about, using the under the layout mounts, switch machines, and so on and so forth. To have it actually show up on a panel. CP30, I think that's Chuck. He was just talking about if you have temperature problems, they'll get sluggish. I didn't know that. The temperature down here stays fairly constant. It's 72 to 73, maybe 74. So, I mean, the issue for me had been, up until a couple of weeks ago, the issue for me had actually been the humidity. Our whole house humidifier went up on us, and I had to get parts to fix it. So I got that taken care of, and now the humidity is pretty much back to where it belongs, or back where it should be. I think it's anywhere between 25 and 30%. So, yeah, I know that, Steve, I know that JMRI can do that. I've had issues with JMRI. I tried messing with it. I understand that it's really around DCC, and of course I'm still DC. But I had a heck of a time getting that thing to do to work the way I wanted it to. So that's okay. I'll when I get around to it, I'll mess with it again. But it is what it is. Tortoises and snails have 2 DPDT auto switches in them. Yeah, I heard about that. I was actually watching a video the other day where they were talking about them. Where they were talking about the internals to the tortoises. So I just wanted to see what everybody was using. But the armadillo. Okay, I got you, Sparky. I got you. Midsummer Railway N scale. I use IR sensors and use the stuff that Jimmy from DIY Digital. Oh, okay. I'll have to go. I know he's got some really cool stuff now. He's got his channel back up, and yes, Dwayne, I do plan on using some Caboose hand throws. Like I said, mainly for the yards in the industrial area. There is going to be one switch, and you'll see it when I get my operating sessions uploaded. There is one switch that is actually on a siding that is electrically fired because of the fact that you can't see it. The folks that are actually doing the switching can't see the switch. So they've got to, they've got to be able to look at the board up front here and tell which way that switch is switched. So that one there will be the only one that is not on the main line that will be electrically fired. Joey, this has me thinking maybe I'll build a one switch switching layout and use it to get into this Arduino stuff. Good practice for, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is, Joey, with what you see, and of course you can't see the whole thing right now. I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and I'm going to drop myself out of this for a minute. And we're going to do this. Now, you're basically looking southbound, and over here, that area that's in front of us will be, will be the city of Boeville. On the back, on the far side is going to be a passenger terminal. It's a 4-track passenger terminal, and there's also 2 bypass tracks, 2 main lines for freight trains to pass. Going back this way now, coming back northbound, this area here in green, this is the Weichert Industrial Area, or the Weichert Industrial Railroad, which is where I just put that engine that I just got. And then we go on northbound from here, and that white foam over here, that will be the city of Newtown. And then on the back side of the layout, these 2 areas, and of course the light is out. There we go. These 2 areas back here are the hidden station area. The far side, or the area that's farthest from the camera, is Harrisburg, and the one that's closest is Richmond. And one of the unique properties of this layout is the fact that it is, and of course I should have switched mics. One of the interesting things with this layout is the fact that it, obviously, as you can see, it's also continuous run. So there's a couple of bypass tracks in here, so I can actually run this thing in a loop. So we'll just sit here and watch the the hidden yards. Now that would be the what would be the southbound passenger, but right now he's on the inner loop. So yeah, Midsummer Railway, this layout is 34 feet down the back, and then that area where the city sits is 8 feet by 5.5 feet. Grandpa, word. You know what? All right, Grandpa. All right, Grandpa. Yeah, it is. I tell you what, when we bought the house and I saw the basement, I was like, yeah, this is definitely going to be fun. Putting in the layout down here is going to be a blast. So, but yeah, I mean, this has been a little bit of an undertaking. I mean, it has absolutely been an undertaking. As it was, I was just blocking. We just had the north and the southbound pass each other on the front. Oh man, so there's the southbound again. But at any rate, this thing, this has been a 40 some odd year dream being realized at this point. I mean, it's a long way from done. It'll probably never be done. But, this thing, being in the hobby for 40 plus years, this thing was just a culmination of that. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted to do. But, I tell you what, everybody talks about, oh man, that's a heck of a railroad. It's a big, yeah. And I tell you what, it does take quite a bit to keep it going. But, like I was telling somebody else, I get a lot of steps in when I'm down here running operations sessions by myself. CSX 2586, welcome in. Good to see you. So, yeah, and believe it or not, but the two trains that are running, train shed priceless. Train sheds are better. Large finished basements are nice. Yeah. So, the interesting thing with the two passenger trains that are running, the one train is the one that's being pulled by the FP45. That's an old lifelike non-proto 2000 or 1000. That's just an old lifelike unit. And that's actually pulling a set of Athearn cars. And on the other train, there's an Athearn locomotive pulling a set of old Tyco cars. So, anyway, take it easy, Lee. We'll see ya. Let's see, what else have we got? Let's go back over. That's not what I was looking for. I've got too many windows open on this machine right now. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, welcome aboard, man. Good to have you in here. We've right now we've got 34 folks watching. I've been up here for 77 minutes, and we're probably going to go ahead and I'm probably going to go ahead and shut this down in a few minutes. So that's where we're at. So I mean, it's this thing is cool. The topic was show and tell, and you missed it. You have to go back and watch the replay, Heath. So a couple of things that I do want to bring up is, and I know that John number 2 just posted it. Don't forget that the Community Roundhouse gang is going to be filling in for Tom's Trains and Things tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So make sure you go over and watch them. Next Sunday, which will be the 3rd of January, that will be John from the Schuylkill River Valley at 8 Eastern. On the 10th, we've got Heath from Humanity Junction. I did mention my new Patreon, Santa Fe Bob. Thank you for bringing it up again. I do appreciate that. Yeah, I brought that up in the very beginning. No, that's not the one I wanted. Oh, man, you'd think if I've been doing this for almost a year that I'd have this taken care of by now, and I still don't know what the heck I'm clicking on. So, anyway, And then, let's see, where did we stop? On the 10th, we got Heath. On the 17th, we've got Jason. On the 24th, we've got me. And on the 31st, we'll have Mr. Rick Bailey from the Fultz Bailey Railroad. I do believe that covers. Yep, that is it. Man, I got that right. Holy cow. Doing it off the top of my head, and I can't even see the top of my head. Well, if I did this, I might be able to see the top of my head, but, that's too late then. Take it easy, Dwayne. Thank you for stopping in, buddy. What step is of the project is Jason down? Oh, boy. Yeah, Rick, you got another one coming up in January, buddy. I'm sure that one there will be the top of the tree. Oh. Oh, man. Thank you for stopping in, Joe. Take it easy. Have a good night. Have a good week. Oh, man. So make sure, hey, you guys. Oh. You know what, Sparky? We really don't want to know. And don't give him any ideas. Take it easy, Mark. Oh, man. Cupid. Baby New Year. No. I can't see that one either. Nope. Take it easy, JD. If you guys want to go ahead and promote your channels, go ahead. I appreciate everybody jumping in here. Make sure we spread the wealth. Make sure you subscribe to each other. If you see somebody in the chat that you didn't see before, go back and take a look. Go take and see what they got. I'm starting, or I'm going to be continuing something that I tried starting late this year, and that is doing a shout out show at least once a month. And I'm going to try and start putting the links to those channels in the description. So that makes it a little bit easier for you all to go ahead and check them out. Some of the folks that are in that one that I just did, the Vlog 48, there are a couple of folks in there that don't have videos up yet. Still, go ahead and subscribe to them. If they're watching you, eventually, if they've got a railroad, if they've got a layout, or if they're working on something, they might post a video. Let's go ahead and help them out. So, yeah, right now I'm sitting at 393, and that's good that Rick is sitting at 296. Oh, we gotta get Rick some subscribers, folks. Let's see. Steve 87 PSAP 254. Nice. I'll have to go back and take a look at that. Ink Rails 151. Well, we can get you up to 200. All right, my life's tracks. I got you. Barn Full of Trains is at 195. John number 2 is at 543. Somebody just asked, why can I not? Well, YouTube screwed that up, unfortunately. Grandpa Rail 634, Ken Amos 107, CSX 2586 is at 335. Go Home is at 1,500. He needs another 500 to 2K. Frank the Steeler fans at 70. CP 368 is at 44. Let's see. Steve Childers is at 76. Anthony Dodge, Opa Anthony is at 731. I'm not going to, I can't let that one go. I can't let that go. So, yeah, I mean, it probably easiest thing, folks, if you don't see, or if you haven't subscribed to somebody, kind of wait 24, 48 hours, wait for the chat to show up and watch the replay, you can pause it and you can go ahead and copy their names out and you can do searches for them. So, you know, that'll work. If not, you know, we'll That's good. I'm sure you're going to love it when the grandson starts saying it. Oh, so yeah, I mean, it's great. And for those in chat that don't know, you know, I think we mentioned it on the 20th show, but Opa Dodge, Anthony Dodge, just became a granddad on the last week. So congratulations again. So yeah, and Sparky still has his how to grow a YouTube channel series on his channel, and that's a good place to go put a comment and see who else is out there. So, anywho, yeah, that's the other way to do it. See, there you go. That's the other way. Everybody comment in the video later, and we can go back and take a look. The only thing that you have to watch is don't just click on somebody and move on. Go in there, click on their link, and watch a video or two, and then go back and hit the next person. Because if not, YouTube looks at it as a sub for sub, and they'll kick you. They'll drop you back down again, or they'll take you off of the sub list. So I think we're starting to wind down here. No, we don't get actually, that's Grandpa Rails. He's the one that's looking for the floggings. Thank you, Steve. I do appreciate, or CFA Bob, I do appreciate that. I'm sorry. Nice. I was trying to click on this one. Thank you, CFA Bob. I appreciate it. So we got to get Midsummer Railway some more subscribers, folks. We got to get him some more subs. Well, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I just shouted you out in the last video I did. So oh no, I blamed Heath earlier. I blamed him earlier. He'll have to go back and watch the replay. I blamed him very early on. Oh, man. All right, folks. You know what? Of course, Steve. Somebody had to. Oh, man. So, take it easy, folks. You know, have a safe new year. You know, we got 2021 coming up the end of this week. So you all know the deal. Wait for the high ball. Green tracks ahead. Be safe. God bless. We'll catch you all in 2021. That sounds odd. You all take it easy. Be safe. Take care. We'll see ya. Oh, how do I stop this thing?